What made him this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan. On February 18th, 2010, Christian asked Alec Benson Leary to call him to discuss the new ads on the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I got your email. Looks like you wanted to talk. What's up?
Okay, well, just to let you know, I'm in the middle of dinner right now, so I'll have to make this short. But, yeah, I am a bit concerned about the fact that you could see with the oversized ads on the Wikipedia. I mean, the smaller banner ad, that was okay. But, no, you had to go and add a whole...
Chris,
big page.
Chris.
Yeah.
You asked me to call you right at 9:30, and when I do, you're eating dinner. Chris, if you're going to ask someone to go out of their way for you for something, you should probably actually allow them to do so and not act like you are inconvenienced when they do. That's just a suggestion.
Okay,
but do you remember how I told you that if you met my requirements exactly, I wouldn't remove the ads, but if you failed to meet my requirements, the ads would get worse? So you failed to meet my requirements. You did meet Evan's requirements, apparently. Evan is happy with you, and I'm proud of you for doing that, because Evan he's satisfied that you killed Simona. However, I am not Evan, and I had different requirements than Evan.
They discussed the ads for Sonichu Revolution.
Now, listen, your kind of pages, they should stay on your website alone. I do not want your pages on my website that only shows my pages.
Oh, it's kind of too bad that I bought ad space on your website, and when I gave you multiple opportunities to get out of me having web space or ad space on your website, you didn't take them. How many times was I gracious enough to give you an extremely easy way out of all of this? And if I remember correctly, I did talk about how you are the luckiest person in the world to have a competition like me who would be so generous and go out of his way to help his competition. Because I don't want to just take over everything. I don't want to be the only artist out there.
Yeah.
That's not fun. You kind of want to be the only artist in existence. I don't know why you want that.
I never said that I did not want other artists to...
Well, you said it with your actions, if not with words directly.
Yeah, okay, well, perhaps my actions were misunderstood in this case.
Oh, not misunderstood in the least. Oh, no, your actions were very clear. You slandered and smeared me as much as you possibly could. You put all of your effort, it seemed, into trashing me rather than building up your own comic.
Yeah.
It's hard to misunderstand that. It's hard to misunderstand, you repeatedly hanging up on me. You've been out of commission for like 3 weeks. You haven't done shit for your fans. When are you going to come back with your comic? Because
I'm up to a few pages in book number 11 where I have drawn that far, and I'm about halfway colored through all those pages which I drew up.
How many pages is that?
Like over 30 now. I'm going to upload all those pages, all the main pages in a bunch, on my birthday, which is next Wednesday.
Okay, well, until then, I think I'll just keep uploading Sonichu Revolution because I want to please your fans, even if you don't. Chris, why would you?
I gave him I put up a new page yesterday as well.
So yep, I saw that actually. That one page plus, I think you had 2 pages where you killed Simona. So that's 3 pages total, in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, anyway.
I do 2 pages a day. That means I've uploaded, in the past 15 days, I've uploaded 30 pages of my own. When's your birthday? Like 8 days from now?
You are mistaken. We're not talking about 8 days. My birthday is on the 24th of February.
My mistake. So 6 days. Okay, well, I'll have 12 new pages by then, in addition to the 30 I've already uploaded. I'm sorry, I didn't know when your birthday was.
Well, it's specifically stated on my bio page on the Wikipedia, and in a couple other places, the 24th of February, 1982.
Hey, Chris, when is my birthday?
I don't know. I did not study your bio. I did not study your bio.
Chris, it's on my bio page on the Astropedia. Why wouldn't you know it?
Well, I did not make
I
an
mean, if
effort
I'm
to tell
supposed to know
you
your
because-
birthday, don't you know mine? Chris, I'm kind of hurt.
Okay, well, I apologize
Oh, my
for that. And after we're done here, I'll go to your bio page and put in my mind when your birthday is.
Nah, you don't have to do that. Don't worry about it. I'd rather you work on pages than go look up info about me. Like, as soon as we're done with the call or whatever, just get to work on it. I mean, stay up all night if you have to get those pages up. Because here's the thing about the way fans work. If you leave your fans in the dark for a week or 2 weeks or a month or however long, it really doesn't matter if you're partially completing some things, because if you don't put out any product, then your fans have nothing to work with. What do you think of Sonichu Revolution, by the way? Have you been reading it? I'm only like 7 pages in right now. But.
I have to look at it, and I did not like the way you were killing characters left and right. That's no good. It's just terrible. Don't go killing characters. That just does not work.
How many comic books and TV shows and movies and, whatever other media have you seen where characters die? Do you think they're all bad?
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, they are bad because that's just totally sad. And plus, to do it in such a gory way, it's just terrifying. It's like any of the Saw movies, especially like the first Trap in Saw 6.
Did you like those movies?
I like them. I mean, I enjoyed the...
You like them, but there's death in it. How could you like a movie that has death in it, Chris? Death is bad. You said death is bad.
Yeah, but I mean, still, that's Hollywood magic. That's
well,
the people that acted in those movies are still alive and well. They just
right. I forgot, because comic characters are real people, and apparently I'm guilty of multiple homicide now. Chris,
yeah.
You remember when you killed Simona because we strong-armed you into it because you refused to do it willingly? Are you guilty of homicide now?
I have a question for you.
Oh,
you said
please.
you like Sonichu. Why did you draw him killing himself?
I didn't draw Sonichu killing himself. I said Sonichu. Your car, I don't want to say Autobot because it's trademark, but...
Okay, well, excuse me. Well, I misunderstood.
I'm not sure if
that was wrong. I mean, that was like you're killing my vehicle. It's like you're making me have to pay like...
No, Chris, I didn't kill him. He committed suicide. He was depressed because he had a name that he hated, and all the other Autobots made fun of him.
The other Autobots do not make fun of each other for their names.
No, they make fun of Sonichu. Chris, look at what he says in that page. He says that he hates his name because it's not a strong, manly Autobot name. Why would he lie?
Yeah, well, I did not. I'm not the one that drew my car, my Autobot, to say that. I did not. You
but I did
that, pretending to be me in a sense.
I wasn't pretending to be you. Chris, look at the page. Do you see on the comic page where it says copyright 2010 Alec Benson Leary? I'm pretty sure that shows that I was not pretending to be you.
Yeah, well,
I was actually pretending to be you.
You had no right. You had no right in killing a character that was originally mine, and I have never said personally had died. When a character dies, I would let everybody know myself. Anybody else who says outside of my jurisdiction, it's just a whole bunch of bogus baloney.
Well, maybe I can say it's a parody, and that'll make it okay, right? If Sonichu Revolution is a parody, would that be okay?
Yeah.
It would?
I would accept that, yeah. And plus, don't make them so big. Maybe like 3/4 of the current size. 3/4.
Nah. Then no one can read the text.
I should have those pages on your Asperpedia. People could just go over there and read them for themselves.
I'm keeping the fans there for you, Chris.
Because you're drawing those pages, not me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm drawing the pages. You're not drawing anything. Or you say you are, but we have.
Because I'm too busy working on coloring them after I have drawn them all up.
Hey, Chris.
And plus, I have real life things like I have to hang out with my family. I have errands to run.
Like, are they having you break rocks with sledgehammers or something all day? Because you say it's like some huge serious thing.
Yeah, well, they're old. I have to do chores for them. I have to do chores for them around the house. I clean the big kitchen. I vacuum. I move stuff around. I clean the bathroom as well. I do a lot of things around the house.
You kind of sound like you're talking to someone who has not seen that video tour of your house right now. and I want to let you know that I actually have seen it. So I'm pretty sure that house is back. Chris, can you hear me? Hello?
Chris attempts to convince Alec that they got disconnected by pressing random numbers on his phone and then hanging up.
Chris, are you pressing buttons?
Alec calls him back shortly after.
Hey, Alec?
Hey, Chris, did we get disconnected there?
Yeah, afraid we did. Happens
Yeah.
to be between me and my gal pal as well in our conversation sometimes. Reception goes bad during this time of night.
Oh, okay. Well, glad I got you back.
Alec addresses Chris's negative opinion of gay people and a plot point in his story concerning a cure for homosexuality.
What about removing homosexuality would make the world a better place? Shouldn't be that hard, Chris, because you already established a predicate that no gays equals world is a better place. So, having said that, that must mean that you do have an idea of how the two things are connected.
What two things?
Chris, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? You said no gays equals a world is a better place. That's no gays is point 1. That connects to world is better,
okay.
point 2. How do those connect?
Okay.
What is...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, now I get it. I mean, it's just I'm getting an incoming call right now, and
Well,
like
you should probably ignore it.
Yeah.
Did you hear my point, though? Please explain how no gays equals world better.
Because there will be less risk of those people going to hell.
Hell?
Yeah, when they die.
What do you... Oh, you mean instead of heaven?
Yeah.
So you're saying gay people go to hell. So you're a Christian then? If you believe that? What, it's been a while since I've read a Bible. Where in the Bible is that whole gays go to hell thing? I'm not a Christian, so I don't have to read the Bible, but you're a Christian. When's the last time you read the Bible?
Yeah, I have read the Bible. But
you're sitting here judging people based off their sexuality without even knowing, what parts of the Bible... Hey, you know what else the Bible condemns? Black magic.
So?
How many times have you tried to curse people? Cursing is black magic. Curse ye ha me ha. Yeah, that's...
I have no comment to that.
Okay, well, let's go back to the gay thing, because, we've established that you don't really know a whole lot about the religion you claim to believe in. Why do you sigh so much?
Well, I'm a little tired right now. I had to actually clean more. I cleaned the kitchen again today.
We all get tired, but... Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
I really want to see you actually... My main goal right now is I want to see you put real effort into your mailbags. Chris, why do you not put effort into anything?
I do put effort in everything.
Everything? No. I told you that your website was going to get taken down because of a lawsuit over a stolen character, and you did nothing. I tell you got to upload pages, and you do nothing.
I'm getting tired. of this. You're raising your voice at me. I don't appreciate it.
Well, Chris, a person raising their voice, that really is enough to just, completely discombobulate you. Besides, you yelled at me first.
No, you raised your voice at me first.
No, I asked you, Chris, why do you not care about anything? And then you screamed, I do care.
You're being ridiculing to me.
Is that the pot calling the kettle black? Chris, I want to understand why it is okay for you to do so many things to other people, but you get mad when they do it back to you. Why is it that any tiny level of stress or inconvenience, and you immediately will fall back on, you're being attacked, or you're being, your world...
It just happens, especially
no,
when I'm tired.
That's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. That's an excuse that a child uses.
Okay, well, I'm just tired right now. Let's just agree that I will be uploading the pages, and when you got perhaps after book 10 is completed, you could. Actually, you know what?
Well, you know what? If you want to,
don't worry about the ad. Don't worry about the ad space at this point. I'll just leave you to that. But
please
but
stop running away from me, Chris.
What?
Please stop running away from me.
I'm not running away from you. I'm right here.
I know you're not literally running away, but you're trying to end the conversation because I'm making you feel bad. And it's not even because I'm attacking or insulting you. I'm just presenting, a few things that are very minorly unpleasant.
Okay, well, with that, sometimes there are things that, we don't. We would not prefer we would prefer the opposite of unpleasant.
You seem to prefer the opposite of unpleasant literally all the time. Any little bit of stress, and you run for the hills. You avoid anything unpleasant, even in cases where dealing with a small problem now will avert a very big problem later. You always choose the hard way. You choose to deal with the big problem that you could have avoided. Bad news is going to happen, Chris. Life is not all fun and games.
Well, I'm sure that happened to you, and you actually had to do that as well.
Yeah, but then I turned 10 and I started learning to get over it. Man the fuck up, Chris.
Possibly sometime in February, Chris recorded a video of himself sticking his penis in the snow. This video was leaked much later and credited as an entry for an online contest to promote the upcoming film Jackass 3D, made by the stunt and prank troupe Jackass. However, the contest was held in summer and autumn of 2010, during which time no snow fell in Chris's area. Whether or not this was a troll-inspired idea is uncertain.
Hi, I'm Christian Chandler, and this is Frozen Stalactite. I'm going to put my dick in the snow, and I'm going to leave it in there for about 15 minutes. Currently it's 12:38 according to my cell phone clock. If there's one clock you cannot change, it's the one on your cell phone. Okay, see y'all in 15 minutes. Yeah, about 6 minutes in now. Ooh, boy, it's cold. I've had about 6 minutes in now. I've had previous experience with freezing my dick, and I've even stretched it a bit. Right, I'll be checking back in 7. Alrighty, it's 12:53. Let's pull me out. Oh, whoa. It feels blue. Look at all that snow all over me. There's the hole again. Kids, that is definitely something. Everybody, I dare say that is one stunt you should not try at home. Peace out.
During this time, Chris continued to converse with the Wallflower, attempting to develop their relationship, which was still a friendship with no signs of it going further. She suggested that they collaborate writing a story about owls, with Christian contributing some of his own story ideas. On February 20th, he answered Mailbag 56, which ended up being his last. He gave very short replies to all the letters, and continued to confirm the existence of a new sweetheart, but did not elaborate further on that topic. On February 23rd, a day before his 28th birthday, Christian uploaded a video in which he declares that his birthday should be a national holiday, reciting a slightly altered version of a speech seen in the 1996 blockbuster Independence Day.
Good morning. In less than an hour, Sonichu fans from here will join others from around the world, as you will be witnessing the largest personal change in the history of mankind. Mankind. That word should have new meaning for us all today. We cannot be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. Perhaps it is fate that today is Mexico's Flag Day. And we will once again be saluting an image of our freedom, not just from trolling, loneliness, or persecution, but also from heartbreak. We are fighting for our right to love, to be honest. And when the sun sets today, the 24th of February will no longer be known as only a Mexican holiday, but as today, Sonichu fans declared in one voice, "We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We are going to live on. We are going to survive. To celebrate today, we celebrate our Christian Love Day."
Viewers noticed some peculiarities with the video. Firstly, the camera quality is decidedly better than Chris's usual offerings, and also the camera itself was being held by someone else. Chris later stated that he had no knowledge of his speech's connection to Independence Day, since it was written for him by a friend. This friend was in fact the camera operator for the video, and was likely the same person that had accompanied Kim Wilson in their past excursions, and had filmed the rolling and trolling video. This man made another appearance in a video uploaded the following day, called Magical Man Potion, in which Chris is seen concocting a magical potion that would transform him for the better, referencing either the 1963 or the 1997 film The Nutty Professor.
We're gonna make us a concoction today. Hello, everyone. Hello, Skullwort. Let's rinse you well. Alright. It's not bad.
The man emerges from under the table, wearing the Asperture medallion around his neck.
Whoa. Wow. That's not bad, actually. Feeling pretty good. Feel a little anxious. A little frisky. I wonder where a guy like me could go. Get a little action. You know? I bet you I know. I just... Oh, I need to work on...
Our needs to work on the time length. To be continued!
He became the first known non-family member to enter not only the Chandler household, but also Chris's room. Due to his appearance in this video, he became known by the trolls as the Magical Man. He also made his presence known in the second video uploaded on Christian's birthday. In this offering, Chris attempts to explain to the Magical Man the customized quirks of his PlayStation 3 menu, while he sits listening to Chris and pointing the camera at the TV screen.
South Park theme. It makes the noises when you between it. That's circle.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wait a minute. One for triangle. Yeah.
That's really yellow. How do you sign into the PlayStation Network?
Alright, well first off you want to make sure your system, your console is up to date with version 3.15, which you find that out after you log in. You get your PlayStation 3 internet capable. And then, of course, you put in your, of course, my online ID, Sonichu
about me. I am Christian. I like that.
Yeah, that works.
As Chris continues to explain the customization capabilities of his gaming device, his guest takes his camera away from the screen and pans around the room, documenting the plethora of items on Christian's walls, including a Playboy magazine centerfold of cartoon character Marge Simpson, various Sonichu drawings, and his wall of originals.
You have to pay for. Check out, or you can get these Babylicious things.
Oh, cool. Second row in the middle, down one. Oh, it was Dita Fun. For some reason, I thought it was Betty Page for a second.
Organized alphabetically. Now see big page. Of course, you could preview these as well, even in full screen.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
Also on his birthday, a troll hacked into his PlayStation Network account. This troll would soon come to be known as Surfshack Tito, assuming the identity of Tito Makani, a supporting character from the Nickelodeon cartoon series Rocket Power. On February 25th, Christian uploaded the final pages of Sonichu Issue 10, completing the book. The comic, which solely consists of episode 21, Director Amenities, begins with a recap of Christian being pulled out of the time void, but in this version, there is more dialogue. He claims that during his absence, he traveled to the year 2015 and took part in a medical study. While he was there, he met a hot woman named Lovely Weather, who happened to have been the wife of Chris's future self and the mother of their daughter, Crystal. She mistook the current day Chris for the future Chris, so they went back home together and had sex. According to Chris, the medical study's aim was to find a cure for homosexuality, but they needed a sample of pure, untainted, straight blood, so Chris offered them a sample of his own blood. They successfully began producing syringes filled with the cure for homosexuality, with Chris obtaining 2 of them, one of which was to be administered to Reldnak to turn him back into his straight self, Natesurk. Chris revealed that Kel, the trainer of the Raichu who morphed into Rosechu in episode 1, was Natesurk's sweetheart and was waiting for him to come home. Christian asks Magi-chan to transfer the vaccine crates from the future back to the present and administer them to their local medical facilities. He telepathically informs his allies to prepare and meet him at the 4 Cents Garbage Building at 2:30 p.m. to execute a yet unknown plan. In preparation, Chris Chan Sonichu visits the Sonichu Site Filing Facility, a physical manifestation of his website, sonichu.net, to gather necessary items, which he then teleports to his mayoral office. He then meets with present-day Lovely Weather and sets up their first date, setting the foreseen future in motion. He then pays a visit to the Quickfill Board of Directors, a previously unheard-of government body. What follows are the preview pages first shown in October 2008, in which Chris reveals that his high school ring is the true source of all his powers, and declares his devotion to his sweetheart, Blanca, who by the time of the official release of Sonichu Issue 10 was irrelevant to Christian and the story. Chris Chan then fights off Reldnak, who wanted Chris to join his dark, gay way of life. Before Reldnak could turn Chris gay, Chris quickly takes out the syringe with the cure for homosexuality and stabs Reldnak through his medallion, shattering it, telling him to metaphorically drink his blood. Chris telekinetically transports Reldnak back to Kel, who laments that all this time he never wore a shirt. By 2:30 p.m., all the Chaotic Combo members have gathered in front of the 4 Cent Garbage Building. Sonichu puts on the beanie Chris had won for his participation in the Parappa the Rapper contest. Chris takes his Guitar Hero controller out of the trunk of his car and morphs into his real-life self, editing himself into the pages, wearing a different shirt than is depicted in the comic. He apologizes for the continuity error by stating that the correct shirt was in the laundry pile at the time the photos were taken. His car transforms into Sonchu and assembles itself into a stage to host a live performance by Christian and the Hedgehog Boys. Christian's camera failed to capture the entirety of his body, so he completed it by combining photos of his upper body and his legs. They perform a song called Revive Zordon, which is the song Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent, with original lyrics by Christian. Chris overlaid the Guitar Hero colored markers of the note highway of the song onto himself. The song refers to a character from the TV series Power Rangers, and Chris calls for the original actors and characters of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to reunite. This musical display successfully manages to throw the structural integrity of the 4 Cent Garbage Building into question, as it begins to rumble and crumble due to the power of rock music. The inhabitants of the top floor, Clyde Cash, Beale, Jack Thaddeus, Jason Kendrick Howell, and his slave mistress, Kathleen, discuss an escape strategy. Howell proclaims that unlike the others, he is straight and vows to escape with Kathleen and settle down in a house in the suburbs. They enter an escape pod and fly away. Beale has a change of heart and goes to hide in the basement shelter until the troubles settle. Jack and Clyde had to decide whether to get killed by Chris or die by suicide. They decide to kill themselves by jumping down the 72-story elevator shaft, expressing remorse for slandering Christian like they did. While his aim was to depict a display of depravity, Christian inadvertently created a tragic but touching moment when Clyde Cash and Jack Thaddeus jumped to their deaths while holding hands. Meanwhile, the rock band's raucous rock display literally brings down the Four Sins garbage building, taking the websites Encyclopedia Dramatica and 4chan with it, destroying every single bit of data. There were about 1,500 people in the lower 71st floors. Chris then gives a detailed breakdown of the numbers of injuries and deaths. They call for ambulances to help those affected. Christian sheds a single tear for the destruction for which he is responsible. Magi-chan comes back from the future and informs Christian that with the help of water treatment and medical facilities, over the next 6 months, the vaccine will be dispensed into the world's drinking supplies, calculating that by February 24th, 2009, they will have successfully eradicated homosexuality. Because of this fact, February 24th will be declared Christian Love Day and will serve as a second Valentine's Day to be celebrated by people in straight love, rejoicing the extinction of all homosexuality and asexuality. Chris is then surprised by the sudden appearance of Meg Griffin from Family Guy, who heard Christian's band playing from a quarter mile away. They both reveal that they are fans of each other, and she gives him a kiss. After expressing wishes for meeting up again in the future, Megan departs, and once out of Chris's line of sight, she reveals that she was in fact Sylvana Rosechew in disguise, trolling him. Chris then all of a sudden declares remorse for offending homosexuals over the course of the previous few pages, and states that he only did it to convince others that he and the Sonichu characters were heterosexuals. He acknowledges that his fanbase seemingly decreased in numbers due to the widespread backlash, hence the reason why this apology was produced. Right after, Christian and Sonichu use the 7 Sonichu crystals to transform into Colossal Chris-chan and Ultra Sonichu respectively. Colossal flies back to the mayor's office, where he is greeted by Patty, who tells him that his sister Crystal was kept safe inside the Dark Mirror. Christian walks in and pulls her out, leaving her to be tended to by Patty and the secretary, Alison Amber, who called an ambulance for Crystal. Colossal Chris-chan then rendezvous with Ultra Sonichu in Minnesota, outside the home of Alec Benson Leary. They break into his house and locate his computer, which is said to be a Hexbox pavilion. Chris inserts his finger into a USB port, which allows his consciousness to travel into the inner workings of the computer and log in as an administrator. He promptly deletes all files on the Asperpedia, blocks the IP addresses of Alec, Evan, Sean, and Mao, and then deletes their accounts. He also takes a dating simulator game for the Hexbox called Don't Be Nervous Talking to Girls, and complains that it is not available on the PlayStation Network. He says that he will reformat it for PS3 and check it out later. Meanwhile, Ultra Sonichu goes into Alec's room and comments that his artwork is poor. He then spots Asperchew, accompanied by Christian's redesigned versions of Leary's redesigned versions of Sonichu and the chaotic combo in the backyard. They announce that the original Sonichu is the savior for whom they have been waiting. Alec's Sonichu begs for Christian's forgiveness for being forced by Alec to follow Liquid Chris instead. The characters reveal that they all have Asperger's and that Alec treats them badly. They announce that they want to have new personalized names. They also claim that Leary kept 4 caged Rosechews in his basement. Ultra Sonichu cures them of their Asperger's and greatly boosts their confidence levels. Asperchew gets an extreme electric makeover and transforms into Mitch Sonichu. Chris blows up Alec's Hexbox and comes outside. The new revitalized Sonichus and Rosechews bow down before him, treating him like a god. But Chris tells them that they are in breach of the first commandment of the Bible. He appreciates the gesture regardless. They are suddenly ambushed by Metal Asperchew, which is quickly defeated. Alec Benson Leary himself appears outside of the panels, and his Sonichus and Rosechews charge at him to beat him up. Chris states that he will teleport Alec's slave Rosechews to safety. Christian then devotes the entirety of the following page to proclaim that Alec's reimagined characters have no relation to his own, and that only Chris's original Sonichu pages detail the true events of the aforementioned characters. Ultra Sonichu brings the former Rosechew slaves to a soup hotel, where they can attempt to rebuild their lives. Outside, Sonichu comes across a 78-year-old Jamaican veteran named Enos, a parody of the troll-created Sonichu, offering him narcotics. He telepathically communicates with Magi-chan, who sends police over to his location to deal with Enos. Ultra Sonichu then flies to the private villa of corrupted citizens and uses the power of the Sonichu crystals to unbrainwash all followers of Slawil Rayam and Count Graduan. After all the jerk-cops and manajerks broke free from Slowheel's mind control and left the PVCC, colossal Chris Chan arrives to confront her. He takes Graduan's wand and smashes it. He briefly fights with Slowheel, defeating her. She reassures the readers that she is not dead, but rather paralyzed. Christian then delivers a special announcement to his citizens in the Quickfield shopping mall. He declares that Slowheel Ryan has been defeated and that he made it legal for homosexuals to do what they wished in the town. However, gay marriage remained illegal. He also announced that he would be less involved in future Sonichu adventures, but would remain as mayor because the town would fall apart without him. During his speech, Simonla goes to the bathroom, leaving her partner Wild to look after their egg. Magichan notices that Evan was attempting to cut the chains holding the giant TV screen in the mall, but manages to stop him. He also stops a disguised Simonchu from attempting to murder his sister, Simonla. During all this commotion, Alec Benson Leary plants an explosive Pokemon called Voltorb in the ladies' restroom. When Simonla goes to the bathroom, Leary detonates the Voltorb. Simonla is gravely injured and is rushed to hospital. Despite the surgeon's best efforts, Dr. Bill Schwartz, who was the one who accidentally created Black Sonichu, informs Wild that Simonla succumbed to her internal bleeding and passed away, leaving him to raise their future child on his own. Magichan tells him that they caught her killer and his accomplices, with their trial taking place in a week's time. All of a sudden, the egg hatches, revealing a Rosie. Wild names her Sandy, and when she asks for her mother, Magichan tells her that Evan killed her mother. Within a week, Sandy Rosie evolves into a ground buck-type Rosechew, who appears to be near identical to the recently deceased Simonla. Throughout all these events, Christian interrupts the narrative with flashbacks to his speech in the shopping mall, one by one fulfilling his obligatory apologies to Alec Benson Leary as he remembered them. The scene finally moves on to the day of the trial, which is presided over by Judge Slack Lewis, who is based on comedian Lewis Black. The opening remarks are delivered by prosecuting attorney Marvy Blaziken, who is a parody of Adult Swim's Harvey Birdman mixed with the Pokemon Blaziken. He praises Christian's creativity and states that the author's dry spells come about due to temporary losses of inspiration. He understands that patience is necessary until inspiration returns, and accuses the 4 showrunners of the Asperpedia of failing to understand this fact. Sean, who is acting as their defense attorney, delivers his statement while under the influence of drugs, and appears to be of low intelligence due to his mispronunciations and spelling errors. They plead not guilty to the charges of murder of Simonla Rosechew, theft from Quickville, mockery of Christian Weston Chandler, and others. Marvy Blaziken offers the Asperchew comics, remote control detonator, and Magichan's psychic link powers as evidence against them. Sean offers a rock in their defense because they rock. The jury swiftly finds the Asperpedia 4 guilty as charged, and are sentenced to be executed by those they had hurt. Alec was placed in an electric chair, which was activated by pushing 10 buttons simultaneously. Chris, Patty, Sandy, and the chaotic combo do the honors of electrocuting Alec Benson Leary until he is burnt to a crisp. Next, Evan gets chained to a wall, and Wild instructs his daughter to deal to him as much damage as she wishes, but wants to keep him alive so that they could murder him together. Sandy takes his glasses as a trophy. Then she drills holes into Evan's torso, including his groin area, and tears his limbs from his body, before finishing him off with her father to avenge her mother. Sean was also hung from the wall. Allison Amber, Bill Schwartz, and Kelly use him as target practice and excessively shoot him dead. Finally, Chris uses his mind powers to break Mao's body, twisting his limbs into grotesque positions, and as the fatal blow, explodes his heart, stating that his amends have been made. The next page is a transcript of the speech Chris delivered on video proclaiming the importance of Christian Love Day. This was followed by a dedication to Panda Halo, showcasing a collection of her artwork. He even included a full page from her own comic, which had been drawn digitally. Christian's hypocrisy, as highlighted many times by Alec, was on full display again, brutally murdering those to whom he had complained about the graphic violence of their own comics. It would seem that Alec's efforts to change his ways were for naught, as the delivered justice, as seen by Chris, would only create more conflict in his real life, and turn more people away from him. For while he was living his fantasy life as a hero, he failed to realize that in the real world, he was letting himself become the villain.